Hello, my name is Kim Malcom. I'm from Sioux Center, Iowa, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer stage 4. I was diagnosed with stage 1 triple-negative breast cancer in December of 2007. I had my mastectomy in January of 2008 and started my first regimen of chemo in February of 2008. I opted to do a clinical trial, the first set of chemos. My way of thinking was, if I could help another person in the future by participating in this study, why wouldn't I do that? The first chemos I took were very intense, and I received 6 cycles. In July of 2008, I heard the words I had so longed to hear. You are in remission. I continued to make my trips to see the oncologist, and in February of 2009, just 8 short months later, I was told the cancer was back, and she was back with a vengeance. The cancer had metastasized to my sternum, my spine, the base of my lungs, tumors in my neck, and many lymph nodes. To have to hear the C word once was devastating enough, but to hear it a second time as stage 4, my whole world came crashing down around me once again. The first time I did chemo, I was extremely scared. You hear the horror stories of losing your hair, being sick, and tired all the time. But what I learned real fast, there was a lot more to it than just the things I had heard. The first time my hair fell out, I couldn't stop the burning. I tried everything. Ice packs, running my head under cool water, and I even tried frozen vegetables just to try to give me some relief. You don't realize how important your blood counts become when you are doing chemo. With my first set and now my third set of chemos, my counts dropped drastically. I'm not able to fight off any type of infection. There are many times I have to wear a mask, and during my severely neutropenic phases, I am not allowed to eat many types of food. They can also give me an infection. I never thought of brushing my teeth as a luxury before I started chemo. With all 3 of my sets of chemo, one of the side effects that I have is mouth sores, and quite often cannot brush my teeth for fear of getting an infection or a severe mouth fungus. The fatigue I experience is nothing I have ever experienced before. It's a tiredness you just can't explain to anyone unless they've had to go through it. I can't stop any of my side effects that I have experienced or that I will continue to experience, but I can take something to help with them. I call them my miracle pills. I can take a pill to help with my pain. I can take a pill to help with my nausea and the vomiting. I can take a pill or a swish and spit that allows me to eat and swallow. But as of today, I can't take that miracle pill to cure my cancer. After I was diagnosed with cancer, my family had set up a Caring Bridge site. Having that site was a lot easier to keep people who supported me kept up to date on a daily basis. And truthfully, reading those messages from friends and family keeps my spirits up, and it keeps me fighting. Numerous times I've either heard or read those words, "You're so brave," "You're so courageous," or "You're my hero." And I so often think, I'm nobody's hero. I'm just a person who's fighting cancer. After the mastectomy, I had to keep the site dry and covered until the first set of staples came out. Once they were out, I was able to keep the site uncovered. And honestly, I had a hard time dealing with the loss of one of my breasts. And at the time, I felt very deformed and somewhat less of a woman. I wouldn't look at the site, and I had my 16-year-old daughter help me in and out of the bathtub. She removed the old dressing and replaced it with new. After about a week of this, she said to me, "I'm not doing this anymore, Mom. It's time you faced it. So if you want it covered, do it yourself." And out the door she went. Here I was, her mother, needing her help, and she was telling me no. I was so angry at her. I sat on that toilet and I cried my tears. But it was the best thing she could have ever done for me. It was a reality check. It had finally sunk in. I have breast cancer. As a mother of 4 children, it's always been my job to nurture and take care of them. But early on in my journey, that role became reversed. My children were now having to take care of me and trying to cope with the fact that their mother has cancer. Ready or not, my children had to deal with an adult situation, a situation that none of us were prepared for. Shortly after I'd lost my hair the first time, and I was having an extremely difficult day. I was laying on the couch, and my oldest grandson, Dylan, who was 3 at the time, sat next to me and started to rub my bald head. He said to me, "You're beautiful, Grandma." As the tears once again rolled down my cheeks for the umpteenth time, it was exactly what I needed to hear at that moment. After I went into remission, I wanted to help other women who were newly diagnosed. So I took classes with the American Cancer Society in the Reach for Recovery program. After being diagnosed, I had so many questions and so many fears, and felt like I had nowhere to turn for the answers. I didn't want anyone else to feel the way I felt. And if I could do anything to help and to reach out, that's exactly what I was going to do. During my first set of chemos, my sister noticed a sign posted for the Look Good, Feel Better program. I was hesitant about signing up, but my sister promised to go with me. I gained a lot of knowledge that afternoon, and not only about skincare. It was an afternoon of normalcy for me, and a whole lot of laughter. I left that day feeling very good about myself. There are so many emotions you deal with: sadness, anger, and fear, to name a few. During one of my sleepless nights where I lie awake thinking about the whole process of having cancer and going through treatments and all the emotions you feel, I rolled myself out of bed at 3 a.m. and I called the 24-hour hotline. She answered all my questions, or she told me where I could find the answers I needed. But most importantly, she listened to my fears and my frustrations. She told me dealing with so many emotions were normal, and it was okay to feel each and every one of them. I do not remember that lady's name, but I will always, always remember that compassionate voice that got me through one very dark night. The American Cancer Society has been a great resource for me and has helped me in so many ways. I can't stand here and sugarcoat what I have been through and try and explain everything I have felt or have been through in such a short time span. It's just impossible. I have a very aggressive type of cancer with limited options of treatments. I have been told this disease will shorten my life, and with each regimen of chemos that don't work, a shortened lifespan becomes more of a reality for me. But if telling my story helps others who have to go through cancer, then there's some positive in all this ugliness. Every day is a blessing from God and should be cherished. There is no way I can fight my fight without my God, my wonderful friends and family. Cancer isn't something you can or that you should have to fight alone. So what I have come to realize these past few years, you don't have to be a fireman or a policeman to be a hero. Heroism comes in many different forms. My family, my friends, my caregivers, heroes. For those who are fighting cancer now, heroes. Those who have fought and won, heroes. For those who fought hard till the very end, big heroes. And for all of you today, giving your time to help find a cure for this ugliness and a whole lot of hope for the rest of us, heroes.